Why is our faith tested? Testing of faith is inevitable to prove the genuineness of our faith in God. Testing of faith emerges two kinds of faith. False faith that walk away from trials or succumb to trials, and genuine faith that face trials, hardships with patience, endurance, and become victorious in the Lord. Knowledge is tested through examinations, and success is attained. Likewise, without testing of faith, how can we examine the measure of our faith in the Lord? Or how can God examine the measure of your faith in Him? So why is our faith tested? It is tested to examine whether we truly have genuine faith in Him. It is tested to increase our faith in Him. It is tested to establish who we are in the Lord. Interestingly, there are many great examples of trials in the Bible. Let us point out Genesis chapter 22 verses 1 to 14. We find the testing of Abraham's faith. God tested Abraham by asking to sacrifice his only son Isaac. And Abraham passed through the test, and he became the father of great faith and a friend of God. Genesis chapter 39 verses 1 to 19. Joseph's faithfulness was tested by Potiphar's wife, and he overcame, and he became the prime minister in the land of Egypt. Daniel chapter 1 verse 8 following, Daniel and his friends were tested by comparing royal foods offered by the king of Babylon. They resisted and overcome the test, and Daniel became a high-ranking official in the land of Babylon. In foreign land, he became a high-ranking official. In the book of Job, the testing of Job's faith is another great example of trials, and he overcame Satan, the testing of faith. Therefore, God returned the fortunes of Job, and the Lord gave twice as much as he had before. Job chapter 42 verse 10. In the book of Exodus, God tested the people of Israel in the wilderness with hunger and thirst, and the people of Israel failed the test. They failed to trust God in hard times, and as a result, only few could enter the promised land. In the New Testament, Mark chapter 4, verses 35 to 41, we find Jesus calming the storm. Here, the faith of the disciples was tested, and they failed to have faith in God in hard times. Although Jesus was traveling along with them, they failed to trust in Jesus. This is why Jesus asked, "Where is your faith? Have you still no faith?" In this context, the disciples of Jesus Christ failed the testing of faith in Him. Lastly, Matthew chapter 4, we find the trials of Jesus. And Jesus, He overcomes so easily. This is the greatest example from a master of how we can overcome trials in the Lord. Dear friends, these are the different situations of how God's people experience the testing of faith. It all happened with a purpose from the Lord. Some failed and faced negative consequences. Some overcome and enjoy God's faithfulness more and more in their lives. To sum up, trials will always come in our lives. Let us be reminded that the testing of faith comes in our life to establish who we are in the Lord. Let us ask wisdom from the Lord so that we can count trials in our faith journey a pure joy. And let us not forget that there is a crown of life for those who endure trials. James chapter 1 verse 12. May the Lord bless all of us through this short